Some days a shadow settles over you, a quiet ache, a sting of failure, or a loneliness that words can't capture. The world feels heavy, each step a struggle, and you wonder if the darkness will ever lift. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't shy from these moments. We face them with the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't promise to erase pain, but equips you to rise through it. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your sadness, your setbacks, they're not your story's end, but chapters where your strength can shine." Stoicism offers no shallow comfort or quick fixes. It's a call to look within, to choose clarity over despair, and to shape your response with intention. The struggles you face today, missed chances, broken plans, or silent doubts, are not your defeat. They're invitations to grow, to uncover the resilience you already carry. In this video, we'll explore 5 Stoic strategies drawn from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus to help you find light in the dark. These aren't just ideas. They're tools to forge calm, purpose, and inner peace. Before we begin, pause and write in the comments, "I will find light." It's your Stoic pledge to take control, to seek meaning, and to keep going. Let's step into this journey together, guided by Stoic wisdom, to transform the darkness into strength. Number 1, controlling emotions and mind during trials. The darkness has settled, a weight of sadness, a sting of failure, or a quiet loneliness that clings to your thoughts. You've taken the first Stoic step, vowing to find light, to shape your story with intention. But when emotions surge like a storm, anger at an injustice, despair over a loss, or anxiety that knots your chest, how do you stay steady? The answer lies in the heart of Stoicism. You cannot control the chaos outside, but you can master the chaos within. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to wisdom, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the first Stoic strategy to find light in the dark. Control your emotions and mind during trials, building an inner fortress that no storm can breach. Consider Elena, a firefighter battling a raging wildfire that threatened her town. Flames roared, smoke choked the air, and panicked calls flooded her radio. Fear gripped her. Fear of failure, of losing lives, of the fire's relentless power. In that chaos, instinct screamed to react, to freeze or lash out in frustration. But Elena had trained her mind with Stoic discipline. She paused, took a breath, and asked, "What can I control?" Not the fire's path, not the wind, but her focus, her actions. She observed her fear as a signal, not a command, and chose clarity, directing her team, prioritizing evacuations, and adapting to each shift in the blaze. Her calm saved dozens of homes, earning her a commendation. Elena's strength wasn't fearlessness. It was her ability to pause, reflect, and respond with reason, even as the world burned. This is the Stoic truth. Between every event and your reaction lies a gap, a moment where you can choose. I learned this myself during a heated argument with a colleague years ago. Harsh words flew and my anger flared, urging me to snap back. I felt the heat in my chest, the impulse to wound. But Epictetus's words echoed, urging me to pause. I stepped back, breathed, and asked, "Will yelling help?" The answer was clear. Instead of escalating, I listened, acknowledged their view, and spoke calmly. The argument didn't vanish, but it diffused, and we found common ground. That moment didn't just resolve a conflict, it showed me the power of self-mastery, a skill I've leaned on to create this channel. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress emotions. Sadness, anger, fear are human. It asks you to govern them, to treat them as advisors, not tyrants. Epictetus, who had no control over his early life as a slave, built what he called an inner fortress, a mind untouched by external chaos. This fortress grows through practice, what Stoics call apatheia, not apathy, but a serene clarity that lets you feel without being swept away. When a rejection stings or a plan crumbles, your first feeling might be despair. That's natural. But pause, ask, what am I thinking? Will this reaction move me forward? This discipline, like training a muscle, strengthens with repetition. Each time you choose reason over impulse, you lay another brick in your fortress. You might think, I'm too overwhelmed to control my emotions. But Stoicism meets you where you are. Start small. When anger rises, count to 5 before speaking. When sadness floods in, name it, I feel heavy, and let it pass without judgment. These moments of pause are victories. Elena didn't conquer the wildfire in one breath. She built calm through countless decisions. My argument didn't resolve in one thought. It took a single choice to shift the tide. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your power lies in that gap, in choosing serenity over chaos. This self-mastery doesn't just steady you, it inspires others. Your calm in a crisis becomes a beacon, your restraint in conflict an anchor. You don't need to be a philosopher, just live with intention. Today, practice this Stoic skill. In the comments, share one moment you'll pause and reflect, maybe a frustration, a fear, or a doubt. Or one way you'll train your mind, like a brief breath or a question. It's your Stoic step to find light. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't flee the storm, we learn to stand firm within it. Subscribe to join us, and let's build that inner fortress, together, one reason choice at a time. Number 2, the value of forgiveness and helping others. You've taken a Stoic stand, facing the darkness by mastering your emotions, pausing in the gap between chaos and reaction to choose reason over impulse. That inner fortress is growing, a bulwark against life's storms. But when the weight of sadness lingers, stirred by betrayals, grudges, or a sense of isolation, how do you lighten the load? Stoicism teaches that we are not solitary creatures. Our strength is woven into the fabric of others. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee either." The second Stoic strategy to find light in the dark is to embrace forgiveness and help others. For in lifting those around you, you lift yourself, rediscovering purpose and connection. Consider Jamal, a teacher who faced a stinging betrayal when a trusted colleague took credit for his innovative curriculum. The hurt cut deep, anger and resentment clouded his days, and he withdrew, questioning his worth. He could have let bitterness define him, isolating himself further. But Jamal turned to Stoic wisdom, recognizing that holding on to rage was poisoning his own mind. He chose forgiveness, not for his colleague's sake, but to free himself. Instead of dwelling on the wrong, he poured his energy into mentoring struggling students, staying late to tutor, listening to their fears. His kindness transformed their confidence, and their success rekindled his passion. Jamal's school later honored him for his impact, but the true reward was inner peace. Forgiveness and service had turned his pain into meaning. This is the Stoic truth. Forgiveness and helping others are acts of strength, not weakness. I learned this during a low point when a friend's harsh words left me reeling. The sting of their judgment fueled resentment, and I shut them out, nursing my hurt alone. But Marcus Aurelius' words pierced the fog. We are bound to others, and bitterness binds us to pain. I reached out, not to confront, but to understand, offering a quiet gesture, a coffee, a conversation. In listening to their struggles, I saw their words weren't about me. That act of forgiveness didn't just mend a friendship, it healed me, inspiring the community focus of this channel. Helping my friend through their own darkness reminded me of my own light. Stoicism doesn't teach indifference to others' pain. It calls us to act with compassion, aligning with our social nature. Forgiveness isn't about excusing harm. It's about releasing its grip on your soul. When you forgive, whether others or yourself, you create space for empathy, for connection. Helping others, even in small ways, defies the darkness of meaninglessness. A smile to a stranger, a moment of patience with a coworker, a kind word to someone struggling. These acts ripple outward, affirming your power to do good. Jamal didn't need grand gestures. His tutoring changed lives. My coffee chat wasn't heroic, it rebuilt a bond. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom includes mastering resentment, choosing compassion over isolation. You might think, I'm too hurt to forgive, too drained to help. Stoicism meets you there. Start small, forgive one small slight, like a thoughtless comment, to unburden your mind. Offer one tiny act, a text to check on someone, a moment to listen. These steps don't erase pain, but they shift your focus, weaving you back into the human hive. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The labor of forgiveness and service strengthens your spirit, grounding you in purpose." In a world that often pulls us apart, these acts are defiance, a declaration that you can still create good. Today, choose connection. In the comments, share one person you'll forgive, maybe yourself for a past mistake, or one small act of kindness you'll offer, like a call or a smile. It's your Stoic step to find light. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't retreat into darkness. We reach out to others to find our way. Subscribe to join us, and let's rise through compassion together, one healing act at a time. Number 3, the value of patience and continuous effort. You've begun to find light in the darkness, mastering your emotions to stand firm in chaos and embracing forgiveness to heal through connection. Yet the shadows of despair can linger, whispering that your efforts are futile, that the weight of your struggles will never lift. When every step feels like trudging through mud, when results seem distant and hope fades, how do you keep going? Stoicism offers a quiet, powerful answer. True progress is forged not in sudden triumphs, but in the steady rhythm of persistence. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." The third Stoic strategy to find light in the dark is to value patience and continuous effort, planting seeds of resilience that grow stronger with each small, deliberate act. Consider Aisha, a musician who dreamed of sharing her songs with the world. For years, she played in dimly lit bars, her voice drowned by chatter, her demos rejected by labels calling her unmarketable. The grind wore her down, self-doubt crept in, urging her to quit, to believe her talent wasn't enough. But Aisha drew on Stoic resolve. She saw each empty gig, each rejection, not as failure, but as practice, a chance to refine her craft. She committed to daily effort, writing one verse, practicing one chord progression, reaching out to one new venue. Even when no one noticed, she showed up, strict with herself, patient with the process. After years of quiet persistence, a small label signed her, and her debut album climbed indie charts. Aisha's breakthrough wasn't luck. It was the fruit of countless unseen hours, a testament to the Stoic spirit of enduring effort. This is the Stoic truth. Patience is not passive waiting, but active resilience, a refusal to surrender to despair. I learned this when I started Stoic Pulse. pouring hours into videos that initially reached only a handful of viewers. The temptation to give up was strong. Why keep going when the numbers didn't grow? But Marcus Aurelius' words anchored me. Be strict with yourself. I committed to writing one script a week, filming despite shaky takes, studying Stoic texts to deepen my insights. Some days felt fruitless, but I trusted the process, like a farmer sowing seeds in winter. Slowly, subscribers grew, comments poured in, and the channel found its pulse. That growth wasn't a sudden leap. It was built through patient, consistent effort, one video at a time. Stoicism teaches that meaningful change unfolds slowly, like bamboo sinking roots before soaring. Society glorifies instant success, viral fame, overnight wealth. But these are fleeting. True strength, the kind that carries you through darkness, comes from small, repeated actions. Aisha didn't need a packed stadium. She needed one more song. I didn't need 1 million views. I needed one more script. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Each effort, however small, forges your spirit. Writing a sentence, taking a walk, facing a fear. These acts aren't loud, but they stack, building a foundation no storm can shake. The grind is where your soul grows, where you become someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives." You might think, I've tried so long with no results. Stoicism asks, whose timeline are you following? Success by society's measure, fame, wealth, may elude you, but living with resilience is success in itself. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom comes from mastering your effort, choosing to act even when hope feels thin. Start small. One task today, aligned with your values. A kind word, a moment of study, a step toward a goal. These are victories. Aisha's verses became songs. My scripts became a channel. Your steps will become your path. Today, embrace the grind. In the comments, share one small action you'll commit to, maybe a daily habit, a task, or a moment of persistence, or one way you'll be patient with your progress. It's your Stoic step to find light. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't chase fleeting wins. We build lasting strength through effort. Subscribe to join us, and let's rise through patience. Together, one steady act at a time. Number 4, transience and the awareness of temporariness. You've carved a path through the darkness, mastering your emotions to find calm in chaos, healing through forgiveness and service, and embracing the patient grind of small, steady efforts. Yet the shadows of despair can still loom, whispering that your pain, be it a stinging loss, a lingering doubt, or a quiet ache, will last forever. Stoicism offers a lens to see through this illusion, revealing that nothing, not even the heaviest sorrow, is permanent. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." The fourth Stoic strategy to find light in the dark is to embrace transience and the awareness of temporariness, freeing yourself from the weight of suffering by recognizing it as a passing phase. Consider Matteo, a chef whose beloved restaurant collapsed under the strain of a sudden economic downturn. His tables emptied, his savings drained, and his identity as a culinary artist seemed to vanish with each unpaid bill. The loss felt like a life sentence. Grief and shame consumed him, tempting him to believe this was his new reality. But Matteo turned to Stoic wisdom, reflecting on the fleeting nature of all things. He reminded himself, this too will pass. Instead of clinging to what was gone, he saw the closure as a chapter, not the story's end. He pivoted, launching a modest food truck, pouring his passion into new recipes. Customers flocked, drawn by his resilience and flavors, and within a year, Matteo's truck became a local sensation, sparking plans for a new restaurant. His comeback wasn't mere survival, it was the Stoic embrace of impermanence, turning loss into opportunity. This is the Stoic truth. Everything, joy, pain, triumph, failure, passes like clouds across the sky. I learned this during a heartbreak that once felt eternal. A relationship I cherished ended abruptly, leaving me hollow, convinced the ache would define me. Nights blurred into weeks of regret, but Marcus Aurelius's words broke through. My thoughts shaped my soul. I began to see the pain as temporary, like a storm that would clear. I journaled asking, what does this teach me? And noticed lessons in resilience and self-worth. Slowly the weight lifted, not because the pain vanished overnight, but because I stopped letting it color my mind. That shift didn't just heal me, it inspired the reflective tone of this channel, where we face life's storms with clarity. Stoicism's concept of memento mori, remembering that all things pass, frees you from despair's grip. Your sadness, your setbacks, are not your essence. They're waves on the surface of a deeper lake. Amor fati, the love of fate, urges you to embrace each moment, even the painful ones, as necessary to your growth. When a job slips away or a dream falters, don't ask, why me? Say, this is my path and it will pass. Tears are human. Stoicism doesn't deny them, but let them fall with awareness, not surrender. Think back, how many heartaches, fears, or endings have you survived? They weren't permanent, and neither is this. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom comes from mastering your perspective, seeing pain as a phase, not a prison. You might think, this feels too heavy to be temporary. Stoicism meets you there. Start by observing your emotions like weather. Name them, I feel lost, and watch them shift. Reflect on a past struggle you overcame. It's proof nothing lasts. Matteo didn't rebuild his restaurant in a day. He started with one dish, trusting time. I didn't heal instantly. I wrote one sentence, then another. Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The labor of seeing transience strengthens your soul, lightening the burden of today. Each moment you choose to say, this will pass, you reclaim power, painting your mind with hope. Today, embrace impermanence. In the comments, share one struggle you'll view as temporary, maybe a loss, a doubt, or a fear, or one way you'll practice amor fati, like reflecting on a past victory. It's your Stoic step to find light. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't cling to shadows. We let them pass, revealing the light within. Subscribe to join us, and let's rise through clarity. Together, one fleeting moment at a time. Number 5, finding meaning and happiness through inner training. You've journeyed deep into the darkness, mastering your emotions to find calm amid chaos, healing through forgiveness and service, persisting with patient effort, and embracing the fleeting nature of pain to lighten its hold. Now, as the shadows begin to thin, a question lingers. How do you not just endure, but thrive, finding a happiness that endures beyond life's storms? Stoicism points inward, teaching that true joy isn't found in fleeting externals, wealth, praise, or perfect days, but in a mind trained to face reality with clarity and purpose. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The fifth Stoic strategy to find light in the dark is to cultivate meaning and happiness through inner training, forging a resilient, unshakable self that shines no matter the circumstances. Consider Priya, an artist whose self-doubt once dimmed her creative spark. After a harshly critiqued exhibition, she spiraled into despair, convinced her talent was a mirage. The world felt cruel, her dreams unattainable, and she nearly abandoned her brushes, but Priya turned to Stoic discipline, choosing to train her mind rather than chase external validation. She began a daily practice, 5 minutes of mindfulness to observe her thoughts without judgment, journaling to reframe failures as lessons, and affirming, "I create for myself." These quiet acts rebuilt her confidence. She painted again, not for critics, but for her own growth. And her next exhibit, a raw, honest collection, earned widespread acclaim. Priya's happiness wasn't tied to applause. It grew from an inner strength that no critique could touch. This is the Stoic truth. Happiness, or eudaimonia, is a garden you cultivate within. I learned this during a career slump, when missed opportunities left me questioning my worth. The world seemed to mock my efforts and joy felt like a distant memory. But Seneca's words stirred me. Hardship forges the mind. I started small, pausing each morning to reflect on one thing I could control: my attitude, my effort. I wrote questions. What can I learn today? How can I act with integrity? These practices didn't erase the struggle, but they shifted my focus, revealing meaning in the process. That inner shift fueled my resolve, leading to this channel where I share Stoic wisdom. Happiness wasn't a prize I found. It was a strength I built day by day. Stoicism teaches that joy doesn't depend on perfect conditions, but on how you meet life's tests. Every challenge, a rejection, a loss, a doubt, is a mental gym, strengthening your resolve. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power lies in daily training. Pause before reacting, accept pain without resentment, respond with intention. When you're misunderstood, don't lash out, listen. When failure stings, don't blame, learn. These choices forge a calm, grounded self, unshaken by the world's noise. Priya didn't need a flawless career. She needed a mind that saw growth in every stroke. I didn't need instant success. I needed a practice that kept me steady. You might think, I'm too broken for happiness. Stoicism disagrees. Your cracks are where growth begins. Start small. Observe one thought today, like, "I'm failing," and ask, "Is this true?" Write one gratitude, even for a warm drink. Take one intentional action, a kind word, a moment of focus. These are seeds of eudaimonia, blooming over time. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is mastering your inner world, choosing peace over chaos. Priya's mindfulness became art. My reflections became Stoic pulse. Your practice will become your light. The world rushes, craving quick fixes, but Stoic happiness is quiet, built through labor. When you stop comparing, stop chasing, and accept reality, not with resignation, but with courage, you find a joy that endures. Today, train your mind. In the comments, share one practice you'll try: mindfulness, gratitude, or a question, or one challenge you'll face with intention. It's your Stoic step to find light. Here on Stoic Pulse, we don't chase fleeting highs. We forge lasting meaning. Subscribe to join us, and let's rise through inner strength. Together, one disciplined choice at a time. You've journeyed through the darkness, mastering emotions to find calm, healing through forgiveness, persisting with patient effort, embracing life's fleeting nature, and cultivating happiness within. Each Stoic strategy, from Elena's calm in the wildfire to Priya's inner training, shows that pain doesn't define you, your choices do. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Your struggles are not chains, but chisels, carving a stronger, wiser you. The light you seek isn't out there, it's within, ignited by every moment you choose resilience over despair. Stoicism isn't about escaping hardship. It's about facing it with purpose. When Matteo rebuilt from loss, when Aisha sang through obscurity, they didn't wait for the world to change. They changed themselves. You can too. Today, take one Stoic step. Pause before reacting. Offer a kind act or reflect on what passes. In the comments, share your vow, I find light, or a story of your resilience. Your words could spark hope in another, weaving our Stoic Pulse community tighter. Subscribe to Stoic Pulse on YouTube for more Stoic rules and life lessons from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Each video is a tool to navigate life's storms with clarity and strength. The darkness may return, but you're armed now, not with false promises, but with a philosophy that endures. Choose to rise, to find light, and to live with intention. Let's keep forging that inner fire together, starting now.